So Apple just wrapped its hotly anticipated September keynote, and I'm going to take you through everything the company launched at the event. Starting off with AirPods Pro 3. The company's new Pro-grade buds feature a smaller design with now 5 sizes of foam ear tips to offer a more secure and stable fit. But despite the smaller size, the company is promising better bass response thanks to a new improved algorithm and active noise cancellation that is 4 times better than what you get from the original AirPods Pro. Key new features include live translation, which can happen with your phone to display text on screen based on what you're saying and what you're hearing, or between another AirPods Pro user, which is pretty cool as an implementation versus what we've seen from other rivals out there. The hardware on offer is also hardier with IP57 certification against dust and water ingress, and there's now a heart rate sensor built into the buds to allow for better fitness tracking without the need for an additional Apple Watch or any additional equipment. Apple has also improved the battery life too, with now up to 8 hours with ANC active noise cancellation on, and up to 10 hours with transparency mode enabled for those using AirPods as hearing aids. Unlike the rest of the products I'm flying through here today, they hit pre-order right now and go on sale on September 19th, priced the same as their predecessors at $249. Next up is the Apple Watch Series 11, which boasts a new thinner design, and the cellular model features 5G connectivity, along with a sleep score as part of Watch OS 26, which gives you a breakdown of different factors that might affect your sleep. One of the other notable health upgrades is high blood pressure detection or hypertension detection, where the watch analyzes 30 days of wear and can warn you then if you have prolonged high blood pressure, which you could then go and get checked out. Not bad. Apple's also boosted battery life from all day to a full 24 hours of wear per charge. And there are of course a selection of satin aluminium finishes or highly polished titanium finishes to suit your budget and preference. And yes, there are Nike and Hermes collection editions too. Next up, there's the new Apple Watch SE3, which gains the S10 chip, meaning gesture support is now on the table, as well as an improved always-on display experience, wrist temperature functionality, which is great for cycle tracking, always-on display functionality, an 18-hour battery with twice as fast charging as before, and an improved fast charge, which grants 8 hours use from just 15 minutes charging. And to round out the Apple Watch portion of the presentation, the company showcased the new Apple Watch Ultra 3. The most tangible upgrade looks to be the new LTPO3 display, which features thinner bezels but fits within the same casing size, giving you a slightly larger viewing experience and a fully dynamic refresh rate from 1 to 120Hz, which is great for the always-on display that can now display more information in a more timely fashion. The addition of satellite connectivity with support for messages and Find My is powerful too for those outdoor adventurers amongst you, and the Ultra's already long battery life gets even longer with a new peak promise of 42 hours per charge. All 3 watches hit pre-order today and also go on sale September 19th, with the SE3 starting at $249, the Series 11 costing from $399, and the Apple Watch Ultra 3 clocking in at $799 as before. Now it's time for the main event, the iPhones. To kick things off, we of course have the new base iPhone 17, which I think looks particularly attractive in the new lavender finish, but comes in 4 other colours too. And while not everyone will care about it, the geeks amongst us finally, I can't believe I'm saying this, will appreciate the fact that it's gone Pro Motion. So now you get a slightly larger 6.3-inch AMOLED panel, but with up to a 120Hz refresh rate for super smooth visuals, making it much more capable as a gaming phone, as well as just for nicer, smoother looking interaction around iOS. Peak brightness has been improved to 3000 nits, and the screen is now protected by Ceramic Shield 2, which the company says promises 3 times greater scratch resistance than the previous iteration. At its heart, its A19 chip promises 40% better CPU and 80% better GPU performance than the A18 in last year's model. Apple Intelligence is of course part of the equation once more, and improved wired charging speeds mean you can get up to 50% charge in just 20 minutes now, along with MagSafe support and Qi 2 charging up to 25 watts wirelessly. You also have 48 megapixel dual fusion cameras on the back, which means a 26mm sensor shift stabilized main sensor and a new 48 meg ultra wide with a 120-degree field of view. The phone can also take 2x shots, which are lossless as well. Perhaps more interesting though is the new reworked front camera, which now uses a much larger square sensor rather than the traditional 4:3 aspect ratio, which Apple is calling an 18 megapixel center stage camera. The main reason behind this is that now you can switch between portrait and landscape shots without having to rotate the phone, and instead just rotating the frame, which makes a lot of sense when you think about it. That new sensor also means that you get better stabilization when shooting video, which Apple compares to its action mode in the back cameras, and the phone can even auto reframe the front camera depending on how many faces it detects in frame, so you can fit more people and it'll naturally just pan out the wider it needs to go. Pretty cool. Now, rather than giving you a big screen non-Pro iPhone this year, Apple has gone the way of Samsung and opted for a new slimline option called the iPhone Air. Despite boasting a titanium frame, this phone actually features a ceramic shield to front and a ceramic shield back, coming in 4 fairly muted colors, although I do like that sky blue. If you exclude what Apple is calling the camera plateau, the phone measures just 5.64mm thick and weighs 165 grams, making it the thinnest iPhone to date. Compare that to the Galaxy S25 Edge, and whilst it is 2 grams heavier, it is also definitely thinner, with Samsung's phone coming in at 5.8mm side-on. If you want a slightly larger screen without having to go for the Pro Max, this is this year's option. With a 6.5-inch 120Hz ProMotion display that gets the same upgraded 18-megapixel front-facing camera within that dynamic island. Despite its thinness, you do actually get an A19 Pro chipset, although it is a special modified 5-core GPU version. There's also Apple's new N1 networking chip, which adds support for things like Wi-Fi 7, and the upgraded C1X modem, which is an improvement on the 16Es modem that we saw earlier in the year. And if you were worried about battery life, because the phone is so thin, Apple has even designed an additional new thin MagSafe battery that can snap on the back. Despite being able to retain features like MagSafe and of course support Apple Intelligence, the Air does have some compromises as a result of its super thin profile, namely the inclusion of only a single 48-megapixel fusion camera on the back that does include 2x optical zoom, slower charging, and weaker battery life than the rest of the iPhone 17 range. It's also eSIM only because of that thin profile. But if you are a long-time iPhone user looking for a thinner device, this might be what you've been waiting for. And to finish, the
iPhone 17 Pro
series. Just like you'd expect, you have 2 sizes to choose from.
iPhone 17 Pro, iPhone 17 Pro Max.
But Apple has pushed the boat out, relatively speaking, in terms of design this year. Despite harping on about titanium for the past couple of years, that is gone, and now we have the first iPhones with a milled unibody aluminium construction, which Apple says offers 20 times better thermal efficiency compared to its previous material choice. That also comes paired to a vapor chamber cooling system for the first time on an iPhone, and this new segmented back means you now have ceramic shield on the lower portion of the phone's back. All of which is meant to work in concert to give the phone far better thermal performance. Apple even says it can offer 40% better sustained performance compared to the A18 Pro powered phones from last year. Like the Air, there is an A19 Pro chip inside, but this one features a beefier 6-core GPU, which is better for gaming and other high-intensity tasks. And perhaps most eye-catching of all are the colors. You get an understated silver, a deep blue, or a head-turning cosmic orange, which of course I want, even though it looks ridiculous. That new form also plays host to the biggest batteries we've ever seen in the Pro iPhones, especially if you get the eSIM model, which the extra space allows for an even bigger cell than the non-eSIM models, which is kind of weird but kind of cool. Finally, the most pro aspect of these Pro phones is of course the camera experience, and Apple has finally brought back parity to the triple sensor array on the back of these things. Not since the iPhone 13 Pro series have we had a trio of rear sensors with the same resolution, but now we have a new 48-megapixel telephoto snapper to accompany the 48-megapixel ultra-wide and main from previous years. Despite using the same folded tetraprism optics that we've seen before, that new larger camera plateau apparently allows for a much physically larger sensor, which gives you 4 times and 8 times lossless optical zoom up to 200mm. And if you're really serious about video, these iPhones also introduce ProRes RAW support as well as Genlock support for cross-device video synchronization. Great for streamers and broadcasting alike. To round things out, Apple did also show off its new tech woven case, but I was immediately getting flashbacks of the fine woven case, so we'll have to see how that one plays out. All 4 new iPhones start with a baseline of 256GB, but the Pro Max can now be had in a whopping 2TB option if you need the space. And as for pricing, the base iPhone 17 starts at $799, the iPhone Air starts at $999, and the Pro models start at $1099, with pre-orders today and availability from, you guessed it, September 19th. So that's it, all the key highlights from Apple's latest September keynote, everything you need to know about the new Apple Watches, AirPods, and the iPhone 17 range, including the super thin iPhone Air. But what do you think? Which product are you most excited about? And do you care about super thin phones or super powerful phones? That new front camera seemed interesting. I've been Alex Walker-Todd, but you can call me Toddy.